Hi guys, it's me Gloria again. Welcome. I wanted to talk about the effects of gossiping, rumors, and lies. I have a story about this lady that I met in a shelter that I lived in. Her name was Sylvia. I'm just gonna refer to her as Sylvia because I don't want to mention her real name. But I lived in that shelter for almost 2 years. Um, when I met the lady, when I saw the lady, she was referred to as crazy. Oh, stay away from her, she's crazy. And when I looked at her, she looked, like she was not all there, because she'd been living in that shelter for 12 years and people have been referring to her as crazy. So naturally, she looked crazy. And unfortunately, I had to say naturally because she did look disheveled. Nobody cared for her. Even if she went to get supplies, they would be like, they would treat her wrong. So I was just like, oh my God, I mean, I didn't even pay that much attention to it, but I just remembered that when I first got there, that was the first thing that was I was told. So after a few months, I became a staff member myself, and I started realizing, you know, that this lady really is not crazy. Like, why is she? She would come. Her handwriting was like very learned. Like she's a very intelligent person, you know. But when she would come through with the paperwork, they'd be like, "Oh, get that out of here," and I'll be like, "Okay, let me see," and I would read it, and it said a lot of things, and a lot of times, when you're telling the truth, you will be referred to as crazy. That's a thing. That's a thing. That's a method that the stalker, the oppressor, the thief, the manipulators, this is the method they use. They will refer to you as crazy. They don't want anybody to believe you. This is a real story. Like the lady, when I heard she was singing in the shower once, and I didn't know it was her. I was like, "Who's that singing?" She's her voice, beautiful voice, soprano, and I was really very impressed. And they were like, "Oh, that's that crazy bitch." Excuse my language, but and I was like, "What?" She came out of the shower room, like when she came out of the shower room, of course she was coming out with her suitcase because she took her suitcase everywhere with her because people would steal her stuff and. So I realized I was like, "Wow, you have a beautiful voice." She was like, "Oh, thank you so much. I used to sing in Carnegie Hall." I was like, "Wow, that's great." Wow, and I'm thinking, how did she end up here? But you never know why or how somebody would end up homeless. Even the people that end up homeless, it's done so strategically. It's organized by people. Like there are people working hand in hand. Sometimes it could be a plumber coming to your apartment. You don't know if this person has been stalking you, if the person is the actual stalker. Maybe they hacked your stuff. They know that you waiting for a plumber, and then they send their own plumber. Like there's a lot of things that's going on. But anyway, back to the lady. You know, I started realizing I started keeping an eye on her now. I'm like, nah, this lady is not crazy. And I got tired of people because now I'm staff. I was staff. I had the power for me to be able to see. Like, look, don't I don't want to don't call her crazy to me. Things like that. Because I didn't really I didn't like that. And then I realized that they were taunting her. They would put food on her bed so the mice could be jumping on her bed. They would do certain things to her, and so I realized the power of they took away her power because she was isolated. Now nobody wants to be friends with her. The only one person that spoke to her was also an op. She only spoke to her because they convinced her to be friends with her, and she would come back and tell the people everything that she would say. So I was like, wow, this goes on because I know that people have been doing that to me even when I was still younger. Like when I was around 16, 17 years old, people would say, "Oh, she's crazy, blah blah blah." And I would have to fight my way through, and I would have to fight for friendships. I would end up fighting, and people, knew me as a fighter, and I didn't want to be known as a fighter. I didn't know how else to deal with things till I realized that, hey, you don't need, it's not mandatory to be friends with people like that. But I just wanted to bring that story out. The lady eventually was removed from the building because she refused to, sign in or something like that. It was not on my shift, but she, hopefully she got the help that she needed, because I did not, I was a staff member, but there's somebody above me. They have director, this and this and that. I don't have any way that I could help that lady. I felt bad. The only way that I could help her was when she needed paperwork to write people up. I would give her the paperwork. She would submit the paperwork, and I would take the paperwork and give it to the right people. And I don't know what else they do with the paperwork, you know. But she suffered 12 years of being called crazy in a place that you are there. And for 12 years, most people would get Section 8. You in a shelter, you would get Section 8 within 2 years, 3 years. She was there 12 years being, I mean, by now the lady was already 60 something, maybe 70. Like, imagine she probably was in the shelter at 40 or 50, whatever. Like, how, excuse my language, but how does somebody get forgotten like that in a system like that? It made me believe that there was something more about it. Why her? Why her? You know, and it's certain specific people, like, it, she was just too smart, she was too brilliant, she was like a person that was a singer, like that, an opera singer. How do you end up in a shelter being called crazy? If you're crazy, why you're not getting help? So this is the thing, and I want people to, the people that know me, maybe the family that I have around these parts do not favor me because they have stolen from me. But my old family, I want them to remember me. I want my old friends to remember me. I want assistance out of my situation. I deserve to be able to be recognized for the things that I've done in my life. And if I have to pull any records to show, because I don't scam, and I barely am able to be able to come forth with what I'm doing right now because I'm so used to doing things on my own. But I know that the people that stalk me and the people that have stolen from me, they know that I would not possibly ask for help, and they count on that. And I'm breaking every chain. I'm breaking every spell. That's why I spoke up and I reported this to the authorities, because I wanted them to know I have no dealings with anybody. I have no issues with anybody, including the people that have been stalking me, watching me every day, like their routine. It's like a series. They watch me every day, and I know that. It's not paranoia. It's not anything. This happens to certain people, especially when you're in a poverty level. Like, people keep you poor because it takes away power. Money is power. Knowledge is power, but money is also power. If you don't have money, then they expecting you that you're gonna date somebody. Oh, she don't have money. She gonna talk to me. Like, I don't talk to people for money. I'm not gonna do that, because this is the reason why I'm single. I would rather starve than me date somebody for money and that the person has control over me. We're not doing that. And we know who that people are being paid. They're being paid to try to date us so they could, be able to, control me. Nah, I don't want to do that. So anyway, that's the story of Miss Sylvia, because I'm gonna refer to, I was referring to her as Sylvia, and my apologies if the story is all over the place, but I'm getting used to it. But I'm not gonna stop. I want to make sure that people know, because this is the new wave. You out here working hard for yours. You don't know who's your neighbor. You don't know who is there stalking you and watching your every move. And they want your husband, they want your wife, they want your car, they want your this. So just be, keep it heads up. This is not a paranoia thing, but it's just the new. This is it's a surge. It's a real surge of stalking. There's a real surge of, people, wanting what's not theirs. They can't even fit the shoe. Like, even if they want to copy you, it's a secret competition. They competing with people in secret, and then they lose, and they're still angry. They're going to be mad at you. They're going to compete with you in secret and still be angry with you when they lose. So it's crazy. But, hey, I don't know. I just pray for myself. And they say pray for the enemy. I have not gotten to that point where I could pray for any enemy, but I pray for myself. And I pray for all the good people in this world that are doing their thing and trying to be good people. While you have somebody that you have been kind to, or they think that you're stupid, so they think that they could ride you like a pony. But anyway, just be aware of this, because this is not anything. It's not anything new, but a lot of people are not talking about it, and it happens in the hood a lot. It happens in the hood. They are using money to control people. They're using scarcity tactics, all kind of tactics to control people and keep people small. They want people to be small so they could keep on milking off people. So, just, help out. Look out for us. Because right now, I should not even be in this position, and I'm not looking down on anybody that's in this position. God bless you, and I'll see you again in the next video. Thank you.